Welcome to this online service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of the South Hills, also known as Sunnyhill. Our mission is to create a more and just, compassionate community within and beyond our walls. My name is Kelly Anderson, and I serve as a worship associate for this congregation. If you are a newcomer or a visitor to our congregation, please let us know you're here by posting a comment in our live Facebook feed or YouTube feed, or by getting in touch with our membership director, Bethany Thornton, at sunnyhillmembership@gmail.com. We would love to let you know how you can connect with the congregation even during this time when our building is closed. Our opening words were written by Louise Robeck. We come to this hour knowing that it is but an hour. Yet, out of all the hours in the week, this is the 1 hour that is set apart, an hour that is saved, an hour that is savored. It is a time for us to recognize what gives life meaning. It is a time to honor what we value. It is a time to celebrate our lives. Let us then celebrate, honor, and recognize that we might fully savor this hour we have saved. Once again, welcome to this online worship service.
And don't laugh this time.
Please join us in saying the words for lighting our chalice. To face the world's shadows, a chalice of light. To face the world's coldness, a chalice of warmth. To face the world's terrors, a chalice of courage. To face the world's turmoil, a chalice of peace. May it glow, fill our spirits, our hearts, and our lives.
We're trying to get up.
You gotta move.
I have to do down.
Please rise in body or in spirit and sing our hymn, The Morning Hangs a Signal.
What Does Peace Feel Like? By V. Radunsky and children just like you from around the world. How interesting. The word peace is beautiful in all languages. Did you ever close your eyes and try to imagine peace? What does peace smell like? Like a bouquet of flowers in a happy family's living room. Like fresh and new furniture. Like wind that comes in your nose when you are sleeping. Like fresh air that makes you want to go out and sleep in the sun. Like pizza with onions and sausage that just came out of the oven. What does peace look like? Like a cat and dog curled up together in a basket. Like new babies just born yesterday. Like a cloud high up in the sky that just happens to be there giving happiness to everybody. White and fluffy peace. Like your mom that kisses you and hugs you. Like something beautiful that goes away but will come back. What does peace sound like? Like a growling bear of war who gets shot by a love arrow and the fighting stops. Like a silent day. Like laughter and happiness. Children on their birthday and parents when their children get married. Like raindrops falling. Like everyone's heart beating, making one big sound together. Like voices singing. Like no bad words. What does peace taste like? Like vanilla ice cream, chocolate ice cream, strawberry ice cream, banana ice cream. Like water. Like sweet, definitely not sour. Like sour, but a nice kind of sour. Like your favorite food times 2. What does peace feel like? Like hugs your friends give you when you cry. Like the fur of my adorable cat Alice. Like the fur of a baby mouse. Like a lot of fun because you know you are safe. Like someone stroking your back. You shiver a little, but it's a wonderful feeling. Just imagine what we could build with peace. I can't draw it all here. A book is too small for that. Peace and love to everyone. The end. The photos I shared with the story show what peace means to me. My church, my family, and nature. What does peace mean to you? What does it sound like? What does it look like? What does it feel like? As you think of these things, create your own slideshow of peace in your mind, and may peace be with you.
In the dark, far outside, waves are crashing with the tide, but we're here.
Good morning. My name is Daniel McCornath, and I am a member of the pastoral care team whose purpose is to reach out to members of Sunnyhill going through challenging or significant life events, whatever they may be, offering the loving presence that binds our community together. If you want to get in touch with us, you may contact us directly or call the church office or send an email to pastoralcare@sunnyhill.org. Each week at this time in the service, we share joys and sorrows submitted by members of the congregation. We share the things that we are celebrating as well as the things we are mourning so that they do not need to be held alone. Joys and sorrows may be submitted online from our website. After each joy or sorrow that I read, please respond by saying, "We hold you in our hearts." We have a sorrow from Paul Lawson. My 85-year-old mom is recovering from a burst appendix in Virginia Beach. To Paul Lawson and family, we hold you in our hearts. We have a sorrow from Melissa Hill. My aunt's husband, Bill, has been ill for several months and has been placed into hospice care at home. Please keep Bill, my Aunt Debbie, and their families in your thoughts during this difficult time. To Melissa Hill and family, we hold you in our hearts. We have a sorrow from Carol Carl. My sister Jan passed away Wednesday, July 22nd. She was 92 years old and had Alzheimer's. Her son and his wife were with her. Jan was a busy lady all her life. She taught history in the Dallas public schools for many years and then became an activist in several ways, urging people to vote and being very active in a large food bank in the area. To Carol, Carl, and family, we hold you in our hearts. Let us bear in mind all these joys and sorrows as well as those that are held too closely to be shared. Thank you.
I invite you now into a time of gratitude, reflection, renewal, and hope. What an unearned blessing to delight in the calming peace of this space. To hear the robin's song again at daybreak, to feel the warmth in this room, and to enjoy the promise of summer almost upon us. Each moment of wakefulness has so many gifts that offer energy and delight. Yet too often they seem unavailable as the weight of our troubles press down on us. The threats to our well-being, real or exaggerated, feel like mosquitoes in the night looking for a place to land. Minds become captive to rising floodwaters, forceful, murky, threatening, and ominous. Even in moments of great danger, the direction of attention is a choice. Fear can dominate the mind, binding it like a straitjacket. Or love can unbind it and open it to resource and opportunity. The soil of the mind can be watered with kindness. The thorns can be removed one by one to appreciate the buds ready to flower. Great possibilities await us, even if all we can see is the cliff before us. The grandeur of life, of which we are a part, scatters rainbows in every direction, even as the deluge approaches. Holding reality and possibility together is the holy, hope-filled work of humanity, if we choose it again and again in love.
We would be one as now we join in singing our hymn of love to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow a nobler world than we have known today. We would be one in searching for that meaning which binds our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice strive to make us free.
A really nice guy, entertaining and fun to be with. Born salesman, good and humorous storyteller. Full head of gray hair with waves on top. Built like me. Wore polished shoes that looked one size too small. When dressed in a suit and tie, his buddies at the mill called him the mayor. Wore a necktie to work as a railroad engineer. Always had a construction project. My father, an alcoholic. This sermon is about how I have attempted to find peace through meaning. I'll use some personal reflections to why I think that it had a positive impact on my life. I started with a description of my father. He would have been a great dad, except for one flaw. He suffered from the disease of alcoholism. My parents separated when I was 9 years old due to my father's alcoholism. After they separated, my dad moved to my grandmother's house, which was in walking distance for me. We spent a lot of time together, and we were very close. He had a great personality and was fun to be with. He was always working on a handyman project, and I was his helper. We had many meals at my grandmother's house. We worked together with his power tools at his shop in her basement. He liked and was proud of me, and I enjoyed being with him. When we separated, we would kiss on the lips, and I could feel his prickly mustache. When I was 14, an incident occurred that ended our relationship until I was age 35. He came to my mother's house drinking slightly. He told my mother that she had made an ass out of herself for something she had done. I told my dad that no one asked him to come and do that. He immediately left, and that ended our relationship until I was age 35. When I was 35, I heard that my dad was living in Crafton and drinking heavily. My brother and I went to see him. He sat at a table drunk. Periodically, he would reach under the table, pull out a whiskey bottle, pour a shot glass, and drink it. We could not get him to leave that situation. Eventually, he collapsed, and after time in a hospital and rehab facility, he recovered. After that, he quit drinking, and our family established a satisfying relationship with him. Here's the Christmas picture in 1980. When my dad was drinking, there was role reversal, and I became the parent instead of the child. I went with him on mornings after drinking to try to stop him. He would tell me to wait in the car while he got a pack of cigarettes, but when he came back, he had alcohol on his breath. I would go in bars with him to try to dissuade him, to no avail. Obviously, my relationship with my dad was dysfunctional, and it had an impact on me. I didn't notice its impact, although I did stutter some when I was in junior high school, until my working life after college. I noticed I was different. When facing demands, I would struggle with feeling out of control and inadequate. When given additional responsibilities, I always wondered if I could handle them, where others seemed anxious to accept a new challenge. While these characteristics hindered me from leadership roles, I was competent and good with working with peers and supervising several people, and was successful. But I struggled with anxiety, sometimes on a daily basis. I sought therapy and medication to help me cope. When I was having difficulty, I read an article about adult children of alcoholics' characteristics. The Adult Children of Alcoholics organization, a 12-step recovery program, has determined that people with my background tend to have common characteristics or traits. These characteristics include fear of authority figures, seek approval and lose own identity, frightened by angry people and personal criticism, eager to be concerned with others than themselves, judge themselves harshly and have low self-esteem, feel guilty when standing up for themselves. Realizing that I could identify with these characteristics, I attended a local ACOA 12-step program for several years. I also led an Alateen program for a while. I felt those meetings were a pure spiritual experience. People emotionally hurting, honestly sharing their vulnerabilities, and a circle of support. It has always made me seek small group experiences. The 12-step program suggests that first, you must admit that you are powerless over your addiction or situation, and admit your life has become unmanageable. Then it says you need to rely on a higher power, something bigger than yourself, and make a decision to turn your life over to that higher power, or God, as you understand it. Then the remaining steps suggest practical ways to grow emotionally under that care. A key concept of the 12-step programs is to achieve serenity, which in a dictionary means to be calm, peaceful, and untroubled. I would add another dimension, meaningfulness, to that definition that for me 12-step programs are all about. In 12-step meetings, I felt a calm and serenity, a feeling that I was involved in something bigger than myself, something very meaningful and helpful. This calm and serenity was something more than happiness. There are activities that make me happy. For example, time with my family and grandchildren, playing tennis, playing the piano. Then there are activities that make me feel more than happy, because there is a dimension of meaning and passion involved. I call it I experience, with this new dimension, joyfulness, feeling the joy of experiencing meaning. Here's an example. I am very passionate about social justice. Each year when we're in Florida, we march in a parade on Martin Luther King Day in Naples. We're part of a group from North Naples UU Church, where we belong. I'm marching, singing songs by Pastor Tony. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I break ranks to fist bump with every kid that I can who is standing on the side. That experience was more than happy. It had a dimension of aliveness and meaning that made it joyful. Here's a second example. When I retired in 2002, I started volunteering at a boarding house at the Chautauqua Institution in Southwest New York. It consists of 3 buildings and is located right next to the main amphitheater on the Chautauqua grounds. The 3 buildings have a total of 51 rooms and 2 apartments, and a community kitchen in each building. Its mission is to provide low-cost housing for its guests. More than half the guests are ministers, with many teachers and people involved in social service. I felt a real passion for its meaning. In 2003, Marge and I were asked to be host and hostess for one of the buildings for 5 weeks of the 9-week season. We did that for 8 years. The last 3 years, I served on the board and was treasurer. Because of my passion for its meaning, I loved being involved. I remember at an early board meeting saying that I just loved being there, that I felt so content in that meeting. During those 3 years, I also led major construction projects on the facility. Their cost was a little under $1 million. This included replacing the foundations and kitchens in the 3 buildings, also installing a 5-story elevator and room improvements. During the winter, this involved me traveling to Chautauqua at least 3 times a month to attend meetings with the builder and architect. While doing this, I paid all the bills, computerized the manual financial processes, and wrote a new reservation system in Excel to replace the manual system. So I was basically busier than I was when I worked at Alcoa. I did all this as a volunteer, and it became very difficult. It was especially difficult when at a board meeting attended by about 20 heirs of the original owners of the building, I was criticized by some of the younger heirs for my leadership. That was hard to take, with the effort and dedication that I had made. I need to add that just about everyone was extremely appreciative of what I was doing. In 2011, Marge and I were asked if we would be managers for half of the season. We did that for 5 years. The reason I did all this and never wavered from continuing, even though it got difficult, was that I was feeling the dimension of joy, that I was doing something bigger than myself, something I had a passion for. I admire many people in this church who demonstrate dedicated efforts driven by passion for a cause. So I've had a dysfunctional relationship with my father, have had issues with anxiety, and my passion for social justice leads me to seek joy by doing what I consider meaningful activities. What is your experience? Peter Frankl writes in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, that man's search for meaning is the primary motivation in his life. This meaning is unique and specific in that it must and can be fulfilled by him alone. He's saying that my meaning is not the same as your meaning, and each person has to find their own. How do you and I attain meaningfulness, and how does Sunnyhill help? Alicia Nachi wrote an article on the positivepsychology.com website titled Realizing Your Meaning, 5 Ways to Lead a Meaningful Life. Her first 3 ways are relevant to what I am saying. First, foster a passion, a purpose. She states positive passions improve our behavior and lead to optimal functioning. The second and third ways are about relationships. Develop and foster social relationships that increase your sense of belonging. She states, make sure to focus on relationships that make you feel like you belong, where you feel like you fit in with the members of that group, and there is group identification. Since joining Sunnyhill Church 2 years ago, I have become more convinced each month that this church, its staff and its members, is the channel through which I can most effectively experience meaning and joy. The services, the sermons by Reverend Jim and others, the outstanding music, the care team, the social justice activities, special offerings, the education programs, the special interest programs, the emphasis on inclusiveness, the rainbow flag, the principles. So I'm very blessed. I've struggled with anxiety, but I'm sure my struggles have been much less than many people in this church. For me, seeking meaning and joy by being involved in activities that I feel passionate about reduces my anxiety. I really like this church. Here I feel that I'm involved in something bigger than myself. Sunnyhill and its people are right in my comfort zone. I care very much about all of you and sincerely hope that we can grow together toward meaning and service at this Unitarian Universalist Church of the South Hills. May it be so. Amen.
One more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us, and everyone will take one more step. One more word, we will say one more word, till every word is heard by everyone. We'll say one more word. One more prayer, we will say one more prayer, till every prayer is shared by everyone. We'll say one more prayer. One more song, we will sing one more song, till every song is sung by everyone. We'll sing one more song.
We'll now give and receive our morning offering. We do not have a designated beneficiary today for today's offering, so any non-pledge income will go toward our general operating budget. But we will continue to have special offerings in the weeks to come as we identify and try to help meet pressing needs in the larger community. If you'd like to make a donation via our online giving system, you can do so one of 2 ways. You can go to sunnyhill.org and click on the button that says Online Giving, and then follow the instructions. Once you get to the drop-down menu, just choose either 2020 Pledge if you're paying on a pledge, or non-pledge collections if you're not. Or you can give by text at 412-324-3130. If, for example, you're texting a gift of $50 toward your pledge, dial 412-324-3130, enter $50 followed by the word pledge. Or if you're giving toward our general fund, enter $amount followed by the word general. You can also mail a check the old-fashioned way, and you can find our mailing address on our website, sunnyhill.org. Thank you for your generosity.
Please join us in saying the words for extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.